Hello and welcome to the STUK on Self-Love podcast. STUK Designs is a successful nonprofit for girls and a clothing brand run by young women from around the world. At STUK Designs, we believe in self-love first because self-love is the dawn that marks the beginning of all the different kinds of loves and because it undoubtedly sustains success. This podcast shines light on strong and talented women who excel and persevere in life while bathing in abundant self-love. So if you're ready to keep it real, level up in all your inner work, creative business, and community impact, then you've come to the right place because we provide you with content that helps your soul glow and your mind grow. Thank you for pressing play. Let's dive in. Hey beautiful people, we at STUK Designs have begun our crowdfunding campaign with iFund Women supported by Caress. We are raising money for expanding our programs, manufacturing art kits, setting up our studio that will be a space to empower women and girls through art and self-love, and a lot of other work that we have planned. We would love your help in our mission to provide girls in underserved communities art education and help them recognize and utilize the power of self-love. Visit our website www.stukdesigns.org for a link to our campaign. Hello, STUK community, and welcome back to another episode of the STUK on Self-Love podcast. I am Tazeen, your host, and today we have STUK Designs Partnerships Manager, Madelyn, with us today. Hi, Madelyn. How are you?
Hello, I'm so excited to finally be on the podcast. Even though I've been working with STUK for a while, this is my time.
It is so lovely to have you. I'm super excited. Now, let us first begin by having you introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure. Well, I'm Madelyn. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky area, and I'm currently a master's student. I'm in the second year of my master's in French and Francophone studies at the University of Notre Dame. So that's in Northern Indiana. And I am STUK's partnerships manager, as you mentioned. So I actually met Brett way back when I was an intern for an organization called I Am That Girl. And I was doing exactly what you are doing, Tazeen. I was a podcast intern and I had interviewed Brett, and that is how we met. And I'm so thankful for that.
Lovely, lovely. Now, you go hard when it comes to hustling and building a career because you're working at a fashion house, you're working with us, so we'll get into all of those details later on. But first, let us talk about your most recent achievement. You've been crowned Miss Indiana Volunteer. So congratulations for that.
Thank you so much.
That is our STUK girl, ladies and gentlemen, right here. She is beautiful. She's gorgeous. So walk us through this entire journey. How did you first get into modeling, all the way up until now?
Sure. Well, it kind of all started when I was 8 years old, actually. I was approached by a music teacher of mine. And she said, you have an incredible voice. She had put me in one of the shows at my grade school, and she just noticed that I loved taking to the stage. It was just incredibly natural for me. And she mentioned that there was a professional show that I could audition for in the area. And I did. I auditioned. The show was The Music Man, and I auditioned for the role of Amaryllis. And it was what they call a cattle call. So there were about 500 girls who came and auditioned for this role from like all over the United States. It was crazy. And long story short, I ended up getting the role.
Wow.
Amazing. That kind of, catapulted me into this world of performing and not only singing, but dancing. And with that also comes modeling in many cases. A few years ago, I signed to a modeling agency, and it's just kind of opened up so many different doors. I'll be acting through that, modeling for print. I'm a little short for runway. I'm only like 5'1". So I embrace what I can do,
Of course.
And pageantry has also been a huge part of that, because little do people know, pageants in the United States are an amazing way to gain scholarship money. And all throughout, high school and college, pageants were actually a way that I could supplement my education through scholarships. So Miss Indiana Volunteer, Miss Volunteer America is actually a newer organization, but I love the values that it has and the value that it places on service. It is so important to me that I'm able to give back my gifts and talents to my community. So I'm just very thankful for the opportunity to finally serve in this role and also go to Miss Volunteer America in May. I'm so excited.
Oh my God, exciting.
Yeah.
So what are your goals as a title holder?
Well, definitely my goal is to blend what was my previous platform of I Am That Girl with the mission of STUK Designs. Because I think, I Am That Girl has these facets. That girl loves, that girl supports, that girl gives back, and that girl speaks her truth, which, they blend so well with the mission of STUK. We're strong, talented, united, and knowledgeable. And I see myself going on a school tour of sorts and using some journaling methods through STUK, and obviously taking color for a cause with us as well, so that we can spread this message of self-love through art to young kids who otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity. That's one of my biggest goals.
Absolutely. That is amazing. Now, this is just, even though it's a huge part of your life, it is just one part of your life. Like you said, you're, studying for your master's degree, you're also teaching there, you're with us, you're, doing all of these amazing things. So how do you manage your time in such a busy schedule?
Oh my goodness. It's a fantastic question. And it's actually something that I posted about in our Discord group the other day. I think that there's a different way to look at what our society calls busy and instead see busy as productive and thriving, right?
Right.
Because busyness seems like you're adding on so many different things that you're only pouring like 5% of your energy into. No, that is not how I function. It's like, if I am going to be doing something in life, I am doing it to 115% of my ability, because it's something that I love and it's something that's going to carry me to my highest self, right?
Yeah.
So obviously it takes a lot of time management skills, which I'll admit, like, I'm not perfect at. There are many ways that I lack in this area, and I'm always willing to learn. But my planner is my best friend. Obviously, like, I've had to embrace Google Calendar over the years. And also the power of saying no has really come in handy. Like, since I've gotten into college, there was a point in time, my freshman and sophomore year, where I was cheering at Notre Dame. I was in honors courses and doing the most. And I still do the most, but I think you have to separate yourself mentally in a certain aspect and realize, take a step back and say, I'm a human being. There's only so much that I can do and finish in a day. So what can I prioritize? I always make a list of like my top 3 things to prioritize in a day and add other things to that to-do list. But if they don't get done, I have to give myself grace, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Now, of course, like you said, getting work done is important, but something that sits at the apex of it all for any individual is their mental health. So how do you manage your mental health?
Oh my goodness. I love to be outside. That's my biggest thing. Like, if I can go out and get a little bit of sunlight during the day, taking regular walks for me is huge. Being with people who are also on that same energy, they're high achievers, but they know how to take a step back and just be present with me. Being present is the way that I'm able to balance life and just stay grounded. I love meditating. Every morning I wake up and I have some kind of practice in silence. And there's actually this thing that I learned from a mentor of mine, which she likes to call life savers. And so savers, each letter stands for something different, but the S is for silence and meditation. And this is a practice that she has every morning when she wakes up. This is how she starts her day. And I've started to implement it too. The A is for affirmations. That has been huge for me over the years to affirm myself, and like we like to do at STUK. V is for visualization. So every morning, just closing my eyes, and no matter what it is, whether it's a huge goal that I have 5 years down the road, or even visualizing what I would like my day to lead up to, right?
Right.
That's a great practice. Exercise, obviously huge for me,
Obviously.
as a personal trainer, and I'm such a health enthusiast. Reading and scripting as well, so journaling. And that practice, if you just think every morning lifesavers and go through those steps, it makes the day so beautiful.
These are some wonderful points that you've mentioned. I think everybody needs to take notes. I need to take notes. I'm going to rewatch this now. So now you've mentioned that you can also sing, right? So that's something, let's talk about that. What does, what place does music hold in your life? What does it mean to you as a singer?
I mean, I can just remember myself like sitting by my grandparents' record player as a little girl. And since then, it's just translated into anytime like I hear old jazz music, I just think of like such wonderful memories. And a long time ago, back in 2015, I was in this jazz vocal competition with Grammy Award winning Michael Feinstein, and it was in Indianapolis. And I met so many amazing creatives through that. And it's like the music of the Great American Songbook is timeless, right? And that's what I think about music. It's like it will carry you through every facet of your life as you change and evolve. And you can listen to a song and it might have meant something different to you so long ago, but now that you've grown, like it takes you to a whole new level, right?
Absolutely.
It's just like an incredible way to communicate with people who might not otherwise be able to speak your language, but like you can listen to a song and share that together. And I think it's so beautiful.
Of course, music transcends all languages, all boundaries. That is beautiful, Now, lastly, since we at STUK Designs, you've been working with us for so long, we've all been working together. We firmly believe in self-love and we teach that. And so that is one of the most important conversations that we have here on the Stuck on Self-Love podcast. So talk to us about your self-love journey, what it means to you, what it has been over the past years, all of it.
Yeah. I love this question because growing up as a performer, there's so many expectations for you, right? In terms of beauty and ability. And I remember myself, taking ballet classes as a young girl, and I have a different body shape, I think, than like what most people in the past would have thought like a ballerina would have. And that's definitely changed over the years. But when I was a young girl, it was like a very tall, slender look, right? And I always saw myself, like I just felt so much when I did ballet. It was my happy place, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be a professional ballerina so badly. How do I do this? And I had so many people telling me, oh, you'll never be able to do that because of the way you look. So growing up and like having to compare myself to other women, it wasn't very healthy. And I think it finally hit me maybe in high school that you don't have to look like other people. You don't have to strive to be another person. As long as every day you are showing up and being better than the person you were yesterday, right? The only comparison that exists is between the person you are today and the person you were, 3 hours ago, even. So that's been hard to embrace. And even in college, when I was a cheerleader, like, oh man, if I can't get this skill, but this person on my team can, how does that make me feel about myself? It's really a struggle every single day. But what I've come to learn through pageantry and working with this amazing organization is just embracing who you are. No one will ever be able to replace the woman that you are showing up as. And there is a place for you, a specific place in this universe where like you might only be able to use your specific skills to help a certain person. And shifting that mindset too, from like what you look like or like what you can do to how you can show up for other people. And that's why, with STUK, even like changing our focus from, arts education in a way to like advocacy. We are going out there, we are helping people. We are taking this color for a cause to schools. We are, inserting ourselves more into our school in Ghana. What can we do? It's amazing to think of ourselves as not just human doings, but human beings. So how do we bring that spirit into the advocacy work of what we're doing?
Right. Absolutely. That is beautiful. Now, do you have any particular memories of any, specific highs and lows of your life? Like you said, considering the ballerina that you did and, all of these beauty standards and everything, are there any particular instances that come to mind that have been either, highs for you or lows, anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. When I was 12 years old, I did another huge audition. Like my role, my dream role in life was to be Annie in the musical Annie. And one of the local theaters was doing it at the time. And they had another huge cattle call. I'm talking 500 plus girls come and audition for this role. And I can envision myself in this moment. I remember my mom was sitting next to me, and I had chosen to like put my hair in braids, and I was kind of like in this tomboy look, right? Like I had like cargo pants on, a little tank top, and I was just like ready to go. I kept thinking about the dance portion, and all of the girls sitting around me, they were like wearing dresses, right? And I looked over at my mom. I was like, Mom, this like might have been a mistake. Everybody's like dressed up. And something my mom has always told me is she tells me sparkle like a star before I do anything. And that places the emphasis like on you as an individual. Like no star can ever shine with your particular brightness. And in that moment, I went in and I was so confident in this audition. As a 12-year-old girl, like you're not comparing yourself as much to other women or other young girls, right? And I absolutely nailed it. And then I got a call back. And I remember the day that I got the call that they were like, yeah, we're offering you the role of Annie. And I was just like, wow, how? And it's that moment when you're so affirmed in your abilities and who you are as a person that feels so good. But obviously like there have been many lows in my life too. I will admit, like after my sophomore year of college, like I was going, to the extremes. I was just doing the most all the time. And my whole life, I had been such a high achiever and just pressuring myself to this idea of perfection that does not exist, right? I was not giving myself any grace. The amount of like self-care practices that I had were like almost non-existent. And I just burnt myself out. Like I could not function. I felt so overwhelmed and anxious in life, and to a point where I was like, what is all this for? And I had never asked that question before. I felt, so motivated by music and acting and cheering and dancing, but it was like that moment when I decided like, oh, the things that I'm doing aren't enough, right? Like it's like I forgot what it was to be like a spiritual being living a human existence.
Right.
And it was like at that point when I just thought nothing meant anything, I was like, I have to realign myself. I have to find some kind of way to get grounded in this world. And that was the year where I really decided that like I needed to get into meditation. I started doing more yoga. I started going on walks outside more so I could align myself with the person that I am rather than just the things that I'm doing every single day. So yeah, it was definitely a low, but it has brought me to my highest self. And I'm really thankful for that.
It is so amazing to see you, like your entire life journey, and see you evolve into this beautiful, talented woman. Like Madelyn, you are a storehouse of talent, and you're incredibly humble and incredibly compassionate. We're definitely so grateful to have an opportunity to work beside you. And thank you so much for joining our podcast today. You made it all the more special.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome. And Tazeen, you were just like, you're such a light to our organization. And I don't know if people realize, but asking these questions is no easy feat, and Tazeen always asks the right questions. So thank you for shedding such a beautiful light on me and the relationship that we have. Thanks for being you.
Thank you. Thank you. This is what we do. This is what STUK Designs is all about. We're constantly lifting each other up, and this is the community that we like to build. So thank you, everybody, for listening to our episode today, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. You can visit our website, www.stukdesigns.org, to shop our merch, make donations, join our blogging team, or be a part of our affiliate program. See you in our next episode. Love and light from us to you.